Hello there, and welcome back to another Thunderous Productions video. I'm the madman behind the mic, Jag Thunder, and this is Minecraft. And what's up, guys, and welcome back to another BIB episode. This episode, we are in our 2,500 square city, is what I call it for now, because unfortunately, I don't have a good name for this yet. Anyways, we are back in the city and using shaders, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. God, I love this. I just love this at nighttime. It just looks fabulous. Super awesome. But anyways, we are down near Gate 4 where kind of everything starts and where the Chick-fil-A is. And the subway is over there. And the school and everything, I think, was the last place that we left off. The last thing I showed you in the BIB City World, I think, was down at the school. I'm pretty sure that's the last one we had. It's been a long time since we've been in the city, just because I've been working on so many other things. But I have worked a lot this week in the BIB city, and as you saw from the title, I've got 3 brand new things in the city to show you. I guess I can go ahead and put it on days. Let's see. Time set day. There we go. Now we can get a little bit better look at what is actually going on. I just really love this at nighttime, though, but you just can't see anything. First off, I'm kind of experimenting just a little bit down here near Gate 4 on raising some of the grass surfaces up a little bit and trying to keep things from feeling so damn flat. I know this is in my flat world, and eventually it's going in a flat area of my custom world. But I think I'm going to start doing this around parts of the city, raising up just different portions of it to make it feel a little more four-dimensional. I don't even know if that's even really a word for using this. But anyways, I want to try to bring up some more interesting detail to the landscape where I don't have anything sitting on the map. I think I want to pull it up just randomly and spank it with some bone meal. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm not thrilled about it, but I don't hate it. So I'm still kind of working this one out. Let me know what you guys think about that. But anyways, you guys are here. You want to see the things in the title of this video, public storage facility. So boring, Jag. Really? There's really nothing to a public storage facility. No, there's not. But the nice thing about it is you can put it in your world and it takes up space. And every city has to have at least a couple of them. So if you're just looking for a random build, something just to put in your world to fill up space, and it still looks good, put in a public storage facility or public storage access, whatever you call it wherever you live. I call it storage buildings. But anyways, this is my public storage place right here. And I went with a nice orange and white color scheme. I think it looks pretty damn good. And I didn't go over the top because it's just a storage place, so I don't have to go in a lot of detail. You go inside, there's boxes inside, there's cardboard, there's shelving where they got like packing tape and all kinds of shit for shipping boxes and to put all your good stuff in so you can put it in storage. And of course you got to have a desk with a computer where somebody behind there can rent you out a storage place. Now the main building is climate controlled. Can you feel it? Wait, you can feel the air, right? Just kidding. Well, of course I am. It's Minecraft. But anyways, in here I put all the single storage units. These are really small. Usually like a 5x5 or a 5x7. It's been a long time since I've actually had to rent one of these things, so I can't remember. Unfortunately, in Minecraft, they look like this. Not terrible, but it serves its purpose and it does what it's supposed to do. So that is the climate control on the inside. And then of course I've got your access gates on the side. The one on the other side is exactly the same. Roll up and you either punch in a passcode or a keyed badge or something and the gate opens. And then you have the bigger climate controlled on the outside. And of course they're all the same, nothing changes. And I've got some levers here that I put in for security cameras, and I was gonna pull the code for the heads, where you can download the heads and you can change them into different, player heads into different things. and they've got a security camera, but I did this on my laptop this week at work, and I haven't done that. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I can do that in single player. So somebody tell me if I can do that. If not, I may figure it out by the end of the day. It's hard telling. But anyways, these are the bigger outside storage facilities, climate controlled. I was also messing around with the tops of my buildings. So as I continue to build, I always try new things. I always try to vary my builds so none of them look the same or feel the same, as much as I can with what we have to work with anyways. But as what I've got here is obviously I've got some HVAC units. I've got plenty of them for all the buildings underneath, and of course the main building up here has one too. So like I said, just starting to tinker around with some roof details. It's a little basic, it's a little clunky feeling, but I do like it. There's just enough detail to give the roof something authentic, something to feel a little more realistic. So I'm like I said, I'm really glad I'm starting to kind of tinker around with that. So anyways, I put in a lot of the smaller ones over here on this side, and these of course are not climate controlled. These are always the cheaper ones, and you just throw your shit in there and hope it doesn't mildew. And then the ones on this side, these are the bigger ones. These are usually ones that you can pull like cars in. And I actually stored a 1967, I think it was a no, it wasn't. It was a 1972 Dodge Charger I bought when I first moved down here in North Carolina, and I put it in a storage facility because I lived in an apartment, and I was going to fix it up, and of course, I didn't have any money, but I was going to fix it up. So I put it in a storage facility for several months, and my bills got the best of me, and I had to sell it. So I don't have it. But anyways, that's what I put it in. It was in the bigger parts of the storage facilities. So anyways, it just popped in my head this week. I thought it would be really neat to put in a smaller storage facility, again, for the sailors and everybody down here on the naval base. Can't always fit everything on the ship, can't always take anything on the ship with you. And of course, if you have government housing, sometimes that's not really big. What better place than to build a storage building, public access? That's where you can put everything in your boxes so you have room in your house if you don't have room in your house. Anyways, all right, so that is my storage facility. Hope you guys like that. Pretty easy build, pretty quick build, and look at all the space it takes up, and it looks absolutely fantastic where it sits. So now we're down the road here a little bit past the warehousing district, or the warehousing building that we stripped out of the original BIB world, and we are going up here to the KFC. Now this one I did put on Facebook a couple mornings ago. I took a couple quick snapshots of it, and those over on my Facebook got a quick sneak peek at the KFC. So yes, this is my version of it. I did not make a sign because Colonel Sanders is a bitch to make in a 3x3 block. So I just made a white block with a red outline. I have seen other KFCs made in Minecraft with the bucket on top. I didn't feel that felt quite as accurate as this kind of does, and you still get the good feeling of that's exactly what this is, with the red and the white canopy, and then the big towering thing on top with, of course, the clown striping, as I call it, on the top, and then the color scheme of the red and white and the sandstone. I think this turned out really good, almost as good as my Chick-fil-A, probably not quite as good, but almost there. And I've got a lamp in the wrong spot. I'm gonna have to move that, but anyways, let's go on inside and we'll take a look. It's got some trash bins outside, fooling around with some new designs. Instead of just using a block, I use a dispenser? No, a hopper, and then a trapdoor on top. So again, always trying to mix and match new items to see what I can come up with. And a lot of times I see some in some other videos that other people are using. We all have the same shit, so interior designing always turns out to be about the same. And as you guys know, I'm not a real big interior decorator here, so I just try to fill things up, make it look the best that I can, and I don't spend a lot of time on the inside. You guys could probably do a hell of a lot better job with the decorating on inside of my buildings. But anyways, this is the inside of the KFC. Yes, it's very, very roomy. I've got a lot of seating area. It actually turned out bigger on the inside than what I was hoping for and what I was thinking it was gonna. And I almost feel like I'm missing something, and that's why it feels so big. That's what she said. But anyways, this is the typical stuff that I always do. The drink fountains here with the iron blocks and the levers upside down. I used some item frames on this build and kind of wrapped them around the outside. Now, I don't usually like to use item frames too much because they do cause a lot of lag, especially in big numbers. So I use just a few through here to kind of trim things out and make the wood feel just a little bit different. I've got my standard plants on the inside. Here's my typical garbage can or my tray return. We put it right there, and then it's all chicken. It's not going to be nothing else. Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's what it stands for. But anyways, again, trying some new designs again with the kitchen area. I've got a preparation area right here. I've got some grills or some stoves, and I've used this before on one of my other. Oh, I got a glitch right there in the shadow, or the shaders right there. That's weird. Anyways, I've used this before. I've seen that used 100 times. I did see somebody use the anvils above it for like the ventilation, and I thought that was a really, really awesome idea. So I went ahead and implemented that into this one here, and then I've got some sinks and of course your drive-through window, and that's it. Nothing really, really spectacular as far as decorating in the kitchen goes. The bathrooms are always the same, very basic. Any fast food restaurant, there's really nothing to them. There's a sink and a shitter, and that's pretty much all you need. Sandstone floor to match the walls, and that's it. That's the KFC. I think it turned out really, really well. Yes, I'm sure there will be a tutorial. Just like my other fast food restaurants. Probably be a little bit down the road. I've got some other stuff planned up first, but I wanted to give you guys a quick peek at it, a real good look at it anyways, more than a peek, I guess, and maybe give you guys some really good ideas. And that's what this whole series is about, is trying to pass on to you guys how I look at things in my world, how I set things up, and maybe you can get something out of it and get a good idea, or look at something and say, okay, that's how you do it. So that's what this series is all about. Here's my drive-thru. I didn't show that. Pretty nice. Like I said, it's right up there with my Chick-fil-A. I think it turned out really, really good. Now, I do have a lot of questions, people asking me about how I set up my parking lots. I was going to make a separate kind of a tutorial on how to do your parking lots, but there's really no tutorial. It's more of a guide or a guidelines, and I think I will do a separate video on that, just for the simple fact that it will take a lot of time to try to sit here and explain basically how I figure it out. In short, I always build my parking lots to fit my cars, nobody else's. So they're always going to be 5 wide across here and 7 deep. And my cars fit good. I think maybe the trucks might hang out by 1 or 2 blocks. It depends on how I park it in the spot. But I always build my spots for that, and then I always just break up the building evenly. So I find the middle, and hopefully if you're building on the odds, your building will have an odd number, and that's where you start the middle parking space, like right here, and then just start going out 1 each way until you run out of room. So as you can see here, it does not come out perfect. I've got 3 on this side, and then over here it goes right to the corner. Now I could have slid it down 1 that way, and then I would have 2 over there and 1 down here as far as the spacing goes. But I thought it looked better if I lined this line up with the front sidewalks. And here we go. So, all right, this is my guide in my parking lot on how to do parking lots. I always try to do my parking lots different. I never try to make one exactly the same as the other one. So we'll see down here at the Pizza Hut. How I did the parking lot down here is different. Over the bank is different. Over the McDonald's is different. At the library is different. But anyways, the guide or the trick to getting your parking space is start in the middle and work out, and basically put your parking in per size of the building. So as you can see over here, I've got a pretty good size apartment building or office building, and I've got a shit ton of parking on both sides. It's a bigger building, it's going to require a lot more parking. Now obviously you're not going to go 1-1 scale with your parking, or your parking lots are going to be so damn big you're not going to see all the other buildings around. So you're going to have to kind of judge about how many parking spots you think looks good in your world. And some people build their parking lots 3 wide, so you're going to be able to get a lot more in. Again, there's a lot of different variables for setting up a parking lot. The biggest thing is just for me is I try to get everything just as even as possible, and when I can't fit any more spaces in, I turn it into grass and greenery and trim and details. That way I can hide any kind of mistakes where it didn't come out. And you guys probably can't tell from up here, but this side is actually 4 and this side is actually 3. It did not come out right. So I can hide that in the grass. If I try to hide that in the parking lot, you'll see it. Especially here on the edge where I've got, I always trim out my spots with one dark gray all the way around. Or I try to, very, very hard, I try to. If I put that one gap over here so I could make the 2 grass sides even, you're going to see somewhere on this side or that side 2 gray spaces. And I think that's more obvious to the eye than grass. So there's another kind of pro tip for you. Do any of your fudging or any of your mistakes in a grassed-in area. Offset your trees a little bit like I did over here, and no one will know the better. You can hide it a lot better. So that's kind of my guide. So I'm not going to make a video. That's pretty much all there is to it, without actually laying out buildings. If you've got an even building, which again, hopefully you shouldn't, but there are occasions where you end up with an even building. I actually think this might have turned out to be an even building going on the length, but I can't remember, and I won't know until I do the tutorial. But anyways, if you do happen to end up with an even build, you're going to end up with even blocks on the outside. There's nothing you can do about it. One's going to be even and one's going to be odd. So again, you can fudge it on the outside area, and that's the best place to hide it. Is basically where I'm going with my tips for my parking lot. As far as getting them to look really, really good, just detail the shit out of them. Just make sure you put some parking lights and some really good lighting in. Make sure you space your lighting. So again, this is where I started here in the middle, and then I counted out each side, and got it as close to center as possible. Again, I think that might be off by 1, maybe it's not. I know one of these is off by 1, but I put it really close to the middle, and you know what? It's really, really hard to tell unless you sit there and and nitpick it and pull it apart. Things aren't always going to be perfect. You can hide a lot of imperfections with just detailing stuff. Again, putting in shrubbery, putting in plants, growth and vegetation, and extra strips like this here along the sidewalk. There's all kinds of little things that you can do to trim out your parking lots and make them look a lot better than just white lines. I put curbs on mine. You guys have seen this. And damn near every one of my videos with parking lots, I put a curb in. Not every parking lot has curbs. When I get to my bigger parking lots that are going to be down where the ships are, I'm going to have spaces that are front to back, probably with 1 curb in the middle or no curb in the middle. Just because I know bigger parking spots, like at your Walmarts, your Costco's, your stadiums and stuff like that, they don't have curbs. You can fit more cars in, asshole to elbow, and you don't need them. But for these builds downtown that I have here, they look better. They're smaller parking lots, so they don't require a lot of less trim like that. So I can really go really full detail on these parking lots, and they don't look so bland. When you get into a bigger parking lot, there's not much you can do. They're going to look bland. It's just going to be a lot of lines. Just hopefully we get some more blocks in Minecraft, and we can get some different colored cars with my design. Winky, winky. Okay, that was gay as hell. I won't do that again. All right, the Pizza Hut. On to the Pizza Hut. These two have been requested for a long time, and I finally got a Pizza Hut done. Ignore the lighting up here on this sign. I did that for the nighttime effect. and I don't like it. It looks like it just does not look right. It's supposed to look like this. So there's the top of the Pizza Hut thing. There's the white lettering that says Pizza Hut with the almost Nike swish underneath it. So again, that's the best I can do with the Minecraft blocks. But at least that one did get a sign, and then of course the billboard sign underneath it tells you, large pizza for $10.99 with wings or whatever the hell. So I got that in. Took a is it gonna rain? It is gonna rain. And I almost forgot how to turn that off because I don't have my too many items. So I had to try to remember my command. But anyways, I took a classic Pizza Hut and kind of did a little modernization here in the front. Did some fancy sidewalks, something you probably wouldn't see around a Pizza Hut. But I think it looked really good. It turned out really great. Again, it's really hard to do the roof with red blocks because we don't have half slabs of wool. Again, Mojang, that would give me a roof it shouldn't be this steep. It should come in at a slower angle, and then there's more of a rectangle or a square piece on top. And this is the best that I could do with completely square blocks. I was going to do it with brick. I was going to give it a brick roof, but I wanted the brick back. So I had to give up one or the other. So I went with this, and I think it turned out really good. Lettering. I want to talk about lettering for a minute. Actually putting names on your designs with your letters. This one here, I went 4 high and 3 wide. Most of my lettering is 5 high and 3 wide, which is entirely too big for this particular build. I don't make a habit of putting letters on buildings. One, because I think it looks very, very tacky. I've seen a lot of other builds that people do, fast food restaurants or things of that nature. On smaller buildings here, guys, the lettering overpowers the building, and it just looks ginormous, and it just doesn't fit. Like my Burger King down there. If I wrote Burger King all the way down the side of it, it would just look shitty as hell. And that's why I probably won't do a tutorial on it, because I don't have the lettering on it, but I do have a big burger on it, and it just doesn't look right. Even if I put a B on it, it wouldn't look right. So I'm going to have to redesign that one down there anyways. But as far as lettering goes, this one almost needed it. It almost begged for it. So I dropped the height of the lettering and kind of come up with a different style so that I could at least get Pizza Hut on the top. And it works. It works for this one. If I put KFC on this one, it's going to be really overpowering, and it's going to look tacky. It's going to look really, really tacky. So that's why I went with just a plain look to this building. So the overall style of it, those that have seen a KFC will look at it and say, that's a KFC. And you don't need it to say KFC. So if you've got a good design, then you shouldn't have to label your buildings to let us know what they are, unless it's a specific skyscraper or office building, or a big hotel like the Marriott. Of course that's big enough you can put some lettering on. But these smaller buildings, inner city type buildings, try to avoid it at all costs, because like I said, I think it really does hamper buildings in the long run. And you start concentrating, looking around, say, okay, well, there's the McDonald's, and there's the Burger King, and there's the Chick-fil-A, and because you're reading the signs and you're not actually looking at the building and picking up on all the neat detail that the person has put into that build. But like I said, for the Pizza Hut, I really think it works. Now, I did some lighting on the top because this gets really, really dark. As I punched that out, and you can see it here in the shaders mod, but underneath the black carpet right there, I've got glowstone. That way it lights up the letters at nighttime, and it looks really good. I was trying to do that with a sign, and it was a complete fucking fail. I had to take it off. But anyways, let's go inside the Pizza Hut. Finally, Jag, let's get in here. Let's take a look and see what we come up with. Again, there's a really nice dark trim in the picture that I used. So I picked a nice spruce wood, I think it is. Yes, it's spruce wood. So I use that for my trim, and I went fancy, guys. I went a little fancy. So anyways, here we are, and I'm going to take the shaders off for this one here because you'll be able to see it so much better. And like I said, I did go fancy. You guys are gonna hate me. I hope it's not too fancy. I have been in a Pizza Hut, and it's more of a sit-down restaurant. It's more than just a fast food restaurant. There's actual benches. There's more greenery inside. There's more decorations inside because you're going to be inside the building longer. So there's going to be more things to look at. I did go to a Pizza Hut one time that did have a lot of greenery inside like this. It had a little waterfall, and that's kind of what I pulled from a childhood memory. Was what you kind of see here. They have like the overhead lighting that comes down in these like small, not really a chandelier, but it's a ceiling light that drops down, and they're usually kind of fancy looking. Because of my benches, I went too wide, but I had to get a really nice bench feel. I had to put in 2 lights and 2 beams. So, but it works. I think it works. I think it turned out really good. I'm pretty happy with it. I spent a little more time inside of this one here than I probably have any other restaurant build that I've made. I made sure that the water, come down just once in the front, so I put some fence posts in to kind of match everything else. I've just got some greenery up at the top. I like the flower pots. I was doing it in 1/6/2, so I didn't have some different flowers to put in there. But because I was trying to stick with just an overall greenery look, I just put in the shrubs, and then the vines on the side, again, just for to match everything else that's going on. And I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. The salad bar, a little fucking big. I'm not sure about this. Gotta have a salad bar, but again, I'm not a big interior designer, so I'm sure you guys can probably come up with something better. I know I need some sneeze guards on it. The glass that goes around it, not this thing up here. This looks like a carnival top or something. So I may get back to this, I may not, but for right now, that's what we have. I've got a nice little sitting area over here for your carry out, so you come in here and wait for your pizza to get done. You can pick it up and then leave. Bathrooms are typical. Again, I don't do nothing fancy. They're all going to look the same. There's going to be ice in the middle. There's going to be a sink and a shitter and probably a picture on the inside, and it's going to match the outside of the building. So again, never expect anything to wow you in the shit houses. All right, so your main countertop here, and again with your laptop or your cash register for obviously for paying, and then another carry-out sit-down place here, and then the kitchen again did not just. I stopped in here. I was just like, I don't know. If I was tired, bored, I get to a point where I get to the interiors, and I've spent so much time out there. I really half-heartedly threw this together. I've got some fryers over here for I really don't even know because they don't make hamburgers. But I got a bunch of pizza ovens and a prep table for making the pizzas, and then some place for pots and pans. Or at least pans, and a place to wash them. Yeah, I got really, really lazy in here, guys. I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. But again, a lot of this is because it's from lack of experience. It's because I don't do a lot of interior designing, and obviously I'm getting better at it. I am, from what I started a long, long time ago. But I've got a lot to learn. And I always take tips from you guys too. So again, in the comment section, help Jag out a little bit, and help Jag build better. So maybe on the next restaurant that I do, if I do a fancy restaurant, I can get a nice fancy kitchen to go along with it. But again, I don't spend a lot of time in here. I do want to start. As I build things, I want to keep them filled up. Just because nothing's uglier than an empty building, especially a city full of empty buildings, and you fly through it and you can see slap through them. It's kind of embarrassing. It really shows how lazy you are. and don't get me wrong, I'm lazy. I do get to a point where I get lazy and I just kind of, like in that kitchen, I just half-ass it. But I've got enough in there where everything looks really, really good. When you walk by it, even if you don't go in it, you can see that it is full, and somebody did spend some time on it. And then of course threw a lot of custom trees around here and filled everything in and made it look solid, like everything belongs. And that is pretty much it. I think maybe that's where we left off last, was on that big office building. I've got a couple weird spots here that I need to figure out what I need to do with, where they cut in and the highways start getting bigger. I figure out something. The storage place actually started off over here, but it looked like shit, and it ended up over there, and now it looks really, really good. So I'm really happy with it. Oh, again, I did the HVAC systems on top of this one here, so that's pretty cool. Again, just tinkering around with some new ideas, some new materials, trying to get better, and that's always the key here, guys. Is always to get better and have fun in the process. Even if you mess something up, you learn something. You learned not to use that material, or not to build something a specific way. So anyways, that is it for the City World in this BIB episode. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope it really helps you, and it gives you a different aspect of how to look at things and put things in your world as far as smaller buildings go. Things that just take up space. You've got to have them. I'll probably do a pawn shop down through here somewhere, because I remember when I was in the Navy, there was plenty of pawn shops and little car dealerships and stuff like that. So I got to put in a little car dealership yet, and probably a pawn shop, and maybe by the next episode, I will put stuff like that in. There'll be some little like roach motels, I guess you'd call them. Your hourly rent by the hour horny sailor went to the strip club. And yes, we need some strip clubs. So yeah, there's always stuff that you can build in your world. There's always things that you can put that doesn't always have to be the main attraction in your city. So keep that in mind too. Don't expect each build to be the center of attraction. You want them all to look good. You want them all to flow good. But you don't want one overpowering another one if you can help it. So anyways, that's it for this episode, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like always, I appreciate you watching. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. And remember, if it looks like shit, tear it down, blow it up, or just build it better. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.